The magic number today is 4:17, so ideally topside by 05:07. So that's in just over half an hour. One of the things I enjoy about this self-inflicted endurance test, you're compelled by a very fixed event that cannot change. I wonder if there's a Shazam for bird call. It's an old wool trading village, and I don't think this alleyway was kind of just an attractive architectural feature. I think it had function. I imagine they probably channeled the sheep up this alleyway into the village, and this is Holyrood Park. So the other side of that hill, Crow Hill, is Holyrood House, which is the Queen's smallest palace. This gets the old heart pumping in the morning. It's about 300 steps. I would say I'm getting gradually fitter during lockdown, basically because of this challenge, and I think had it not been for the challenge, I'd be a lot fatter now, because I've arbitrarily decided that cheese is in fact good for you during times of pandemic. We're approaching our first way station. This is the first possible elevation where I could grab a sunrise if I wasn't quite going to make it to the top because I'd woken up late. This wall is a massive bat nest basically, and in the early evening if you walk down here you get surrounded by bats. There we are, Firth of Forth, going out to North Sea. For those who aren't aware, we're in Edinburgh. We're going up there, Crow Hill, which isn't Arthur's Seat, the tallest volcanic outcrop in Holyrood Park. The whole of Edinburgh is built on a volcanic complex that last saw activity 330 million years ago. And to give you a sense of context there, the dinosaurs appeared 60 million years ago. So whenever I'm presented with some kind of volcanic boulder, you can go, well, that landed there 330 million years ago. Nothing's moved it. No man, no diplodocus, no dinosaur. It's way station 2. Convenient bench. It's a pretty damn fine view up here as well, but you don't get the kind of operatic spread that you do at the very top. So let's keep pressing on. Now I've got 20 minutes until I have to set up. I always set up 10 minutes before sunrise. I mean, ideally I'd be up there set up now, because all of the interesting colours happen before the sun actually rises. The minute the sun rises, you tend to lose certainly all of the pinks. So I try and get at least 10 minutes of sunrise before it rises. I've also found that just grabbing 10 minutes for a 1-minute time lapse isn't time-lapsey enough, especially on mornings like this, which are absolutely beautiful. So trying to grab at least kind of 20 minutes, so 10 minutes before, 10 minutes after, so that you could get a sense of the movement of clouds and sun and all of that kind of stuff. I think today I'm going to concentrate on the sea. There's not much happening in the sky, but the sea looks beautiful, slightly textured, and going to see how the sun interacts with that today. 2 dogs. B, very much working spaniel. So she'll stick around, stay close to me, and then bother the odd pheasant. We have to be careful about that. And Oscar, born into a life of privilege. If we didn't cut his hair, he'd be a walking carpet. She spends her life trying to work out what it is she's meant to be doing with her life. Suspects it's bothering pheasants and chasing after rats and squirrels. And Oscar spends his life smelling piss. I've always wondered why, if dogs have sense of smell 90,000 times more profound than us, why can't they just stick their nose out the front door in the morning and go, yeah, Dave's had a shit over there, Barbara's time of the month over there, oh, and a pisshead is puked up in the Andersons' front garden. Right, love, put the kettle on. I mean, why do they have to really get their nose in it? There's a boulder. 330 million years it's been there. No one's bothered to move it. And you can see here, it's much more obvious from further back, but there's some kind of stripes on the side of this hill, Crow Hill, from apparently Saxon days, terrace farming. I know I may have mentioned this before, but I've had 2 kind of profound connections with this hill, other than the 330 million year thing. is this called Crow Hill. What I often do is I'll sit there looking at the crows thinking, well, how long has it been called Crow Hill? And how long has this hill been surrounded by crows? 100, 2, 3, maybe 400 years, if the age of that village is anything to go by. But it's not the same crows. It gave me a profound sense of the continuum. This is the third waypoint, possibly one of the most beautiful little spots in Holyrood Park. Remember, this park is in central Edinburgh. It starts at the base of the Royal Mile. This is the quieter side of Edinburgh that we see here, so it looks a little bit more kind of suburban. But we really are kind of, as the crow flies, about 5 minutes from Waverley Station. And this is where I think I had another kind of profound notion. I was bivouacked in that hole down there because it was raining. And what I've always observed is there's often human ashes on this spot. It's such a beautiful spot. People want their ashes to be scattered here. I was thinking about those ashes, watching the rain and the water flow and thinking the remains of those crows and just thinking, where does it all go? And you could suddenly get this very profound and exact sense that it definitely just all goes there. The ashes, the remains of the crows, eventually it all liquefies, slides down and ends up in there. And when we were losing my dad, it was profound thoughts like that that I found very helpful. So often grief is a fear of loss, emptiness, loneliness, and to feel that kind of connection, I think, is important. This is one of the times where I really, really wish you were here. This time of year, this very brutal, thorny bush called gorse displays a fine mantle of yellow flowers. But it's not just the amazing contrast between the yellow and the blue sky. It's the smell. As my daughter suggested, it smells of a combination of vanilla, coconut and butter. So basically, when I'm walking up here to catch a sunrise at this time of year, really is profound this morning. It's to the aroma of coconut ice cream. This rock actually straddles quite a steep cliff, but not one that will make you meet your maker, one that will just give you a very prickly start to the morning. Right, I can see interesting stuff starting to happen in the sky. This is when that sense of urgency kicks in. What's particularly challenging about the early starts is not the early starts per se, it's that it's probably about 2 minutes 20 seconds earlier every day, which may not seem much, but for anyone who's an early riser, that time of day, they're dog minutes. So to lose best part of 3 a day, or indeed 20 minutes in just over a week, is profound. Oh lordy, look at that. Beautiful moon over there. And it's literally opposite to where the sun's going to be. This is the big payoff, the North Sea there, with the sun rising ever further to the left every day. Joining me this morning is the ever socially distanced Kellen. This will be my wide angle lens. I take 2 sets of time lapse. And all I do is I just film at normal rate and then speed up in the edit. But today I'm going to risk it and do telephoto only, so I can talk to you about one of the most important weeks of my life, which is this week. Proud of my dad packing today. How are you, mate?
Doing well.
Excellent. B-cam, telephoto, all important supplies. It's quite sad the sun came up yesterday and it's just off to the side of where the camera was aimed at. How are we doing for time?
We should be alright. 17 today. 7 minutes.
7 minutes until
10 before.
Okay, great. So, big week. Well, it's another end of piano book month, and we broke all sorts of records last month with how many pianos went up?
73.
73 different instruments went up, and we had over 200 demos go up. Try and mark that this week, although it's an incredibly busy week. Third birthday of this channel has happened, so we're now in the 4th year of filming. Want to mark that, and it's kind of particularly interesting to compare all the birthday videos before and to see what a different world we were in then, how times change. We've also just passed 50,000 users, but I'm not going to celebrate that. I'll wait till we get past 100,000. Look at you being all ambitious. Oh yes, on Friday, I'm really proud to announce that we're joined by a really good friend, Anna Phoebe, sensational violinist, member of a band called Ava. She's also a composer doing all sorts of fascinating stuff, beautiful stuff, experimental stuff. She works with Nitin Sawhney, Erland Cooper, and is a real inspiration. We're also joined by, and I'm incredibly excited and very proud to refer to him as a pal, Charlie Clouser from the Nine Inch Nails, who is also an esteemed and hugely successful composer. We'll be watching Rosemary's Baby and listening to After the Rain by Barry Guy. Do join us on Friday. That's going to be about 1700 hours BST. But the really big thing that's happening this week on Thursday, it's tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah.
The 7th of May. Be happening throughout the afternoon on the Spitfire channels is possibly the boldest move we've made thus far. Certainly the thing that Paul and I are most excited about. We feel that it's unlikely we'll surpass this as a thing in our professional careers. So keep an eye on the Spitfire channels, but Paul and I, we're going to do a thing called a sidebar. So at 1900 hours BST, we'll do it as a premiere and I'll attend live. Paul and I are basically going to have a chat about the thing, starting on this channel at 1900 hours BST and then directly after part 2, because it's in 2 bits, because there's 2 things that are coming out over on Paul's channel. Right. I've missed the sunrise again, Kellen. Let's have a cup of coffee. You can enjoy that a bit. Ooh, I'll come round. It appears to be very, very out of focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on fucking autofocus. Totally nosed up that. Usually I have 2 cameras because telephoto is much more difficult to use. But also I'm aware that I'm probably going to oversleep at some point. Something that would be very irresponsible would be running one's immune system into the ground during these times. So Kellen and I are trying to take at least 1 day off a week, and we simply work out what kind of a sunrise it is and get the closest. We've only put 1 spare up so far, which is when the immune system comes knocking. It's better to kind of knock it on the head for just 1 day. I don't know if you'll be able to see from here, but the castle and its windows are reflecting the sun. Let's have a look. Probably can't see on this lens. Now that's Arthur's Seat, which is it's not 30 metres, it's I think 30 feet taller than this one, so not much in it. And there we go. The reward for getting up early. And as this challenge goes on, I'm finding myself kind of doing that thing of, oh my God, I'm really fucked this morning. I'm just going to literally walk up the hill like this, go record the sunrise. I'm not going to properly wake up, and I'm going to go back down and just edit it quickly, and then I'm just going to climb back into bed and get back, not to just any sleep, I want that sleep with that dream. But the problem is, with this kind of event, which is like kind of going to a celestial circus every morning, this is the point at which the euphoria kicks in. I go, I'm ready for the day! Knowing me, I'd usually be kicking myself to fuck that up, but it's been nice to actually just share this sunrise with you and not worry too much about the old time-lapse. We'll fix it. Funny thing that actually happened is I woke up really early this morning and I thought I'd do my homework and watch Rosemary's Baby. Kind of woke up when my alarm went off and went, oh yeah, now I've done my homework now, I've watched Rosemary's Baby. And I thought about it and I went, did Rosemary's Baby really end with a massive chase through the streets of Manhattan in inflatable dinosaur suits? I thought, no, I probably fell asleep at that point, so I'll probably need to go back to the point I remember watching before the dinosaur suits came on. One for the road here. So do join us on Thursday. Keep an eye out on the Spitfire channels. It's a short film that'll be going up. And then, as I said, 1900 hours BST on this channel, and then directly after on Paul's channel. Do subscribe if you haven't done, and I think it would be prudent to ding that bell. Even if it doesn't directly address your needs, I think the chat that I have with Paul is kind of quite exciting and very much encompasses where we see the future of sampling and all of that stuff going. And Paul and I always have a bit of a giggle when we get together. Right. I always like doing that because it makes me feel like a cowboy. See you tomorrow.